Hello and welcome to episode 2 for the Malaysian Grand Prix of the Daniel Ricciardo career mode. As you can see in practice and from the first race of the season, we finished in 5th in both of those. In Q1, the drivers knocked out were Mary, Stevens, Perez, Maldonado and Nasser. We didn't do too great, but we did qualify on the primes. This is the start of Q2 now. This is our first and only lap in the session, as you can see. We do run quite wide, we do understeer wide. We struggled with understeer for the whole weekend really at turn 1. You know, I tried a few things. I tried moving the brake bias and I don't know, the car just didn't really want to slow down for turns 1 and turns 4, which is the corner we were approaching now. As we come to the end of the lap though, we haven't set a time. We are P12 at the moment, but we are going to be one of the first cars to set a time, and learning from Australia, this will be our only lap as we go P4 in the session. And we left it at that, and we got through in P5, which I think is roughly where we need to be aiming for, ahead of the two Williams. I don't think we're going to be ahead of the Ferraris or the Mercedes in this session. As you can see, the rest of the knocked out drivers, and I've just completely missed who they were, as this is our first of 2 laps in Q3. This is the end of our first lap actually. This is our first lap. As you can see, the first few cars are setting their times. The mini-map in the bottom left-hand corner is broken, with cars driving everywhere in a straight line. As we come to the line, where is this lap going to put us? It puts us P6, so not really where we want to be, but we're completing our team objective. And we've gone out again right at the end of the session, and we're going to see if we can get up to P5. But we've run wide down at turn 1. Once again, which is just annoying. You just can tell, you can feel that you're just losing the time through those opening corners, and it's quite annoying. As we go through turn 3, we're not as far over to the left-hand side as we should have been. Turn 4, we hit the apex lovely, but we've run a little bit wide. The left-hand side of the car has gone onto the grass. We're now coming through the fast turn 5 and 6 on F1 2012. This used to be hell for me, and it looks like we did understeer through there. But generally, turns 5 and 6 are actually feeling quite nice on this year's game. 7 and 8 though, the double right-hander, not nice at all. Not nice, they're really horrible. That's arguably my worst corner on the circuit. As we come down to turn 9, we've got brake too late, we've run wide, but we've managed to salvage it a little bit, as we are actually down on the first time we set in the session at the moment. As we come into the third sector, we haven't run wide there, which is a relief. And now we're going to try and take this left-hander as flat as we can, and the beginning of this penultimate corner, as we now brake, don't run wide, just miss the apex, and we also haven't run wide onto the exit, as otherwise that would really compromise our run. For this lap we're in rich mix, 3 laps of fuel, and hopefully we can jump ahead of Felipe Massa. Nico Rosberg leads the session at the moment, and can our Renault power through these 2 straights, get us anywhere near P5? And the answer is no. We have improved though, so we did find time in the final sector. And I thought, let's YOLO this. Let's go for one more die hard lap at the end here. Although our fuel light's blinking, and right at the end of the lap, we ran out of fuel after going purple through the first 2 sectors. We ran out of fuel in the final straights, and we lost 2 seconds, and we didn't improve. So we'll start P6. Rosberg on pole, Vettel second, Raikkonen third. Then the 2 Williams. Hamilton was only 7th in that session, believe it or not. Don't know what happened to Lewis Hamilton there.
It's the Malaysia Grand Prix. Driving one of those Mercedes to the top of the timesheets in qualifying was Germany's Nico Rosberg. He'll have made quite a few people sit up and take notice with that performance, not least his teammate Lewis Hamilton.
There's no doubt that he likes this track. I think that was apparent from his wonderful qualifying pace yesterday. He'll be hoping that he can put in another good performance today and that he can convert it into a race win.
Lots of sunshine and beautifully still conditions here for today's race. The temperature on track is high, which will pose certain challenges for the teams.
Racing tyres are designed to have a specific window of operating temperature where they're at their best. If the temperature is outside of this, the tyre is not at its maximum potential.
So here we go for the 5 red lights here at the Malaysian Grand Prix. and we're away here, and we've had a pretty decent start, and we need to try and make our way over to the right hand side to get the inside line. Look at the start from Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. Hamilton's had a great start, so we're going to come down to turn one. We've broken later than everyone else. We've made a little bit of contact with the Ferrari and the Williams, and we've hit the Williams. Oh, and we've got Hulkenberg spinning, but Lewis Hamilton from 7th on the grid is up to 2nd already. We're up to 3rd, although we kind of barged our way through the field in the opening into turn 1, as we're now going to try and chase down the Mercedes. This is our best chance. It's the only chance we're going to get in the race to have a go at trying to get past the Mercedes and hopefully then park the bus. But as you can see on the mini-map, we've got quite a bit of a gap to Sebastian Vettel as we're getting caught in the dirty air. We're running wide at the exit of turn 6, and even through 7 and 8 we're running wide. We're just stuck in the dirty air and taking a little bit too much speed. Desperate to try and see if we can get a dive bomb move, because I don't know if we're going to have the power from our Renault engine on the straight, as already we get a brief proximity error from Sebastian Vettel, who's already starting to catch us up. But you can just see the Mercedes are pulling away. This is Legend AI, just to let you know, as we do a cheeky little corner cut, as we're just trying to gain the time. There's no DRS, and I think this is where we just kind of needed it. We needed DRS just to get a bit closer to the Mercs. But here's a replay of the start then. We made a fantastic start. You see Felipe Massa pulling over to the left hand side as we kind of push Lewis Hamilton out there, as we kind of follow each other down there, as we make brief contact with Massa and Raikkonen. Massa then hits us, and as we have a bit of a tank stopper, we spin Hulkenberg around, and well, that didn't ideally go to plan. And Nico Hulkenberg made a great start as well. Here's the onboard footage from Felipe Massa's start. He makes a good start. He's already looking to get past, I think that's Kimi Raikkonen, is it, in the Ferrari? And so as he comes down into turn 1, he's briefly into... There's us barreling in. Hamilton sneaks up the inside. Massa hits us and gets a 5-second penalty, just to let you know. And then, because of the contact with us, we hit Hulkenberg. And then Massa has contact with his teammate as well, as Bottas gets through. Look at this for a start from Lewis Hamilton, though. What a start. He powers past us. And you'll just see the carnage that we cause just allows Lewis Hamilton to have a nice run into turns 1 and 2. There's us. We get everyone out the way so no one can go around the outside. And Hamilton gets himself up into 2nd place, and all of a sudden with a shout of winning the race. And here's the view from poor old Nico Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg has no luck in Formula 1, does he? He just has no look at all. Look, yeah, makes a great start, and he's probably looking at least a top 5. As we look at that, late braking from us. And there's Massa, causes the contact, and Hulkenberg just has nowhere to go. And then basically stops half the field. Raikkonen's not moving for no reason. Grosjean is freed, and poor old Nico Hulkenberg falls right down to the back of the field into last place while his wheels kind of spazzes a little bit. Here's Kimi Raikkonen's view, so he's battling away for the podium. There's us, he makes contact with Massa and Bottas, and just look at the carnage that unfolds. And the two Williams just sneak by, as did a Toro Rosso around the outside, which I believe is the Toro Rosso Carlos site. Then look at that for a glitch. Kimi Raikkonen's tyres change from options to primes to options. Another glitch for this game. As you can see now at the end of lap 2, we've got Sebastian Vettel all over the back of us. The Renault power is starting to become an issue, and we've got Vettel, I think, going up the inside into the final corner. We're side by side at the moment. This is just fantastic racing. This is, I mean, I thought Australia was a great race, but this race was just on another level. It was I had so much fun doing this race, as we have a nice entry into turn 1, which is something that can't be said for our qualifying lap, as we do defend from Sebastian Vettel for now at the start of lap 3. As we cut later on into the lap, we've made a mistake through 7 and 8, we've run wide, and Vettel is all over the back of us. He's gone to the right hand side, which is the outside. We'll brake later than him. We have gone a little bit deep, and he just can't get the cut back on us. He doesn't have the traction. As we now cut onto the end of lap 4, Vettel's trying to go around the outside. We're just going to push him a little bit wide. Push him wide, and now he's got the Williams of Valtteri Bottas, who's just taken P3, but Vettel's got him back going through turn 2, as we're just trying to run away a little bit as we cut later on into lap 4. as we've run wide through the penultimate corner. We're starting to feel the effects of the tyre wear already. Vettel's gone to the right hand side. He's got DRS, of course. We've now got Valtteri Bottas in the Williams having a look as we try and dive back up the inside of Sebastian Vettel. We're side by side through the final corner. We will get DRS, which is most important. We're now trying to duck into the slipstream as best as we can as Vettel's moving all over the place. So is Bottas in our mirrors as we now get the inside line and take back third place, which is our objective in the race, as we've run a little bit wide trying to push Vettel out. He's gone back up the inside, but we've defended the inside line quite nicely through turn 2. And now Bottas trying to get back past Sebastian Vettel in the Ferrari. As you can see, the two Mercs have gone. We won't be seeing them until the until the plane home, I suspect. In fact, we probably won't see them on the plane home, as here's a replay of this on the cinematic view. Sadly, we don't really capture what we wanted to capture. There's Vettel storming past as our wing mirror gets in the way. Look at this for a panning shot. It's a really nice shot, this one is, going side by side through the final corner. And then we just try and steal the tone. Look at the two Williams, especially Bottas in the background, all trying to steal the slipstream. Bottas thinks about going around the outside of Vettel, backs out of it, as we do lock up going through turn 1, and it just allows Vettel just to try and have a look back up the inside. And I do love that shot through turns 1 and 2, this camera angle. It is one of my favourites. The replay cameras, when they're not glitching, are very, very good on this game, as well as the offline. As we cut now onto lap 6, going through turns 5 and 6, we've got the proximity arrows of Sebastian Vettel once again. As look at this, Vettel's gone up the inside, and we've just cut straight back. As this is we are pitting in this lap. This is our the recommended pit stop strategy. He's telling us to pit this lap. But what a great little move with Sebastian Vettel that was. As we're now cutting right to the end of the lap. We're coming in at the end of this lap, and we haven't defended the inside line. Here comes Sebastian Vettel as we've gotten to the apex. We've made contact. Vettel's half spun it. We're now in the gravel and the grass. We've got Felipe Massa all over the back of us. We can't keep it on the tarmac in the pit lane, and we panicked a little bit with Sebastian Vettel coming at us. We panicked that we were going to end up losing the position into the pit lane. We have gone onto the prime tyres, a brilliant stop. We've beaten Romain Grosjean coming down the pit lane, and we've gained time on Felipe Massa. And now I had to check the race director here to see if I'd taken out Sebastian Vettel. But as you can see, he is in second place. So the relief from my conscience was clear that I hadn't taken Vettel out of the race. But I had resulted in him losing the position to Valtteri Bottas because he had a slow run onto the pit straight. As where we're going to come out, we're going to come out in about 11th place, I think, on the prime tyres. And Massa is behind us, and there is a car that's just passed him, and it is Will Stevens. He's up to 12th place at the moment. Will the lad Stevens. I have a piece of his front wing sitting proudly on my mantelpiece at the moment. As here is the replay camera from the incident. For some reason I haven't edited out the rewind, but here we go. Vettel goes up the inside, and we try and leave him the space. We do try and leave Vettel the space, but we do turn in to try and get into the pit lane, and there is slight contact made. No damage to Vettel's car, but he does a brilliant drift. Here's the view from Valtteri Bottas, who had a fantastic view of this. There's only marginal contact, and Vettel kind of half spins it and just doesn't have the speed going onto the straight. As we now come onto lap 8, everyone else has just made their pit stop. And who's that coming out of the pits? Vettel has jumped us, but we're going to try and go around the outside. Valtteri Bottas is the car that's just ahead. Bottas has, as I've said, jumped the pair of us after getting past Vettel into turn 1 on the last lap, and we've now got to try and see if we can catch the Williams of Valtteri Bottas while he's got the cold tyres, while we've had an extra lap on these prime tyres, which don't feel very good, as we do cheekily corner cut a little bit, I must admit. I hold my hands up, I was pushing quite hard. We've put it up into Rich. We are gaining on the Williams of Valtteri Bottas coming through turns 5 and 6. And look at the exit we've got, as my footage did cut out. Of all the times to cut out as we make the move up the inside of Valtteri Bottas. It was a brilliant move, if I do say so myself. Bottas kind of jumped out of the way. Here's the replay of it. He kind of leaves the door open, and we just kind of take our normal racing line, and there we have it. Here's the cinematic replay of it. We just poke our nose in, and Bottas just jumps out of the way. He just jumps out of the way and runs wide and loses quite a lot of time. And all this has helped us out because we've pulled away from Bottas, we've pulled away from Vettel, but at the end of lap 9, they're back again. Here comes Sebastian Vettel, and he's got a good run as he's going to dive it up the inside, I think, as he does. But I think we might get the DRS. Vettel's taken third, but I think we're going to get the DRS. Yes, we do. And I think we're just going to do what we did right at the start, and that's just going to get in the slipstream. We're thinking about putting it into Rich. And here we go, up the inside of Sebastian Vettel to take back third place. We've had to work hard for this, but we've run wide. We've made a mistake. We've braked too late. Vettel's gone around the outside. We've dived our nose in up the inside, but we haven't managed to get past. Vettel is through into third. We're now desperately trying to get back, trying to get the position back, try and get our podium back. We've got Bottas all over the back of us. Vettel's a bit slow into there, and we're gaining with side by side. How we haven't touched the wheels, I don't know. The two former teammates, but we decided to back out of it through turns 5 and 6. I didn't want to risk going side by side through there, especially on the outside of turn 5, as we're just pushing. We're braking as late as we can. We're just desperate to get back on the podium, but I fear it might be in vain, as we just don't have the horsepower down the straight, and Vettel's just about far enough ahead now, where we've just got to think about defending 4th place now. As we do have DRS, but we've got Valtteri Bottas close for company. And this is really similar to I'm doing a 2014 season on F1 2015 as JB, and in the exact same thing on the start of the final lap, I got passed like that after defending for the whole race in a podium position. As you can see, we are though close to Vettel, but we just can't get close enough to dive it up the inside, as we are just focusing a little bit more on Valtteri Bottas now, as at the end of lap 11 we've got Bottas all over the back of us. The straight line speed of the Mercedes powered Williams is there. He goes to the left hand side. We're trying to defend the inside line. Are we going to duck into the slipstream a little bit, and we are just going to try and brake later. Bottas trying to hang it around the outside. We've forced him wide, and we've just about kept P4 in this race. We got 18 runners in the Grand Prix as well, after Carlos Sainz had DNF'd early on. And we now got, on the start of the penultimate lap, Bottas is again, he's further enough ahead in the braking zone, but we've broken later a little bit late. We've broken later again, as we've managed to do for the whole Grand Prix pretty much, as somehow in our Renault powered Red Bull we are defending this position. As we start now, we're coming to start the final lap. This is probably Bottas' best chance to get 4th place. Vettel, by the way, is about 9 seconds up the road in 4 laps, showing how bad our pace has been on these prime tyres. And kind of the difference in the speed of the two cars, as we've managed to defend from Bottas by once again just wringing him out to dry on the outside of turn 1. As we're now coming through the penultimate corner, we're struggling like crazy. Lewis Hamilton, from 7th on the grid, and with a nice bit of helping hand from us, has won the Grand Prix. Rosberg is 2nd after starting on pole. Vettel is 3rd, but Bottas has taken 4th. We're going to flick it to the inside, dive it up the inside, and we're now going to force Bottas out wide. We haven't stuck him in the gravel or the grass, but we are going to come now to take 4th place in the Malaysian Grand Prix, which I think is a fairly solid result, it must be said. Ricciardo isn't happy, but I am. It was a well-earned 4th place.
Another win for the Brackley-based team. What a car they've got this year.
You can't fault their commitment today. They really pushed hard and were rewarded with a race win. Fantastic achievement.
After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So as you can see, we did finish in 4th place. Massa got a penalty for hitting us, so that dropped him behind Max Verstappen. Daniel Kvyat managed to move up into 9th place, so a couple of points for our teammate. Fernando Alonso just missed out on a point in 11th place in the McLaren Honda. Not bad going at all for Fernando Alonso there. But yeah, Sergio Perez, Force India, missing out on points. Nasser managed to get in there. No points for Lotus. As look at that, Will Stevens up in 17th, and it was Kimi Raikkonen who DNF'd I don't know what happened to Kimi. I forgot to look actually in the replay cameras. As you can see, in the Drivers' Championship, we're up to third. We've jumped ahead of Bottas, I think. But we are about 28 points off the lead. And in the Constructors' Championship, we are third, I think, as we're just cycling through the rest of the Drivers' Championship. So if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.